We can all agree, this is the first chapter of a happy story as far as humankind is concerned. And I tell you for free, as you all know, the first stanzas of many happy stories often begin with a part that frightens. Because how else can one measure the meaning of true joy, if not in contrast with sorrow? Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 introduced us to an earth that was gloomy, formless, void, uninhabitable, a chaos that danced in darkness. And this was where God's interest began. Looking into the nothingness, he shaped something in his good heart, and then he spoke. Let there be light, and light split the darkness like a curtain torn in two. Waters gathered, mountains rose, stars began to hum in the night. The sea had its place, the sky knew its height, creation had begun, but he wasn't done. From the dust of the ground, yes, the very same soil we walk upon, he formed a shape, shoulders, chest, hands, a brow molded by divine intention. Then God leaned in and breathed, and man became a living soul. His name was Adam. He opened his eyes not in confusion, but in connection. The first face he saw was his maker's, and the first sound he heard, not thunder, not wind, but the peace of Eden's silence, and God's voice calling him son. Adam walked among rivers that sang, trees that danced, and animals that bowed without fear. He named them all: lion, eagle, gazelle, sparrow. But even in the harmony of Eden, something felt incomplete. And God in his tender wisdom said, "It is not good for man to be alone." So once more Adam slept, not the sleep of exhaustion, but the deep rest of divine surgery. And from his side, not from his head to rule over, not from his feet to be ruled, but from his side God fashioned Eve, an helpmeet for a man. When Adam awoke and saw her, it wasn't shock, it was recognition. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And together they lived, naked and unashamed, their souls intertwined, their hearts unburdened. They knew no fear, no guilt, no need to hide. But in the center of the garden stood a boundary, a tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God said, "You may eat from every tree, but this one do not touch. For in the day you eat of it, you will surely die." Not because he wanted control, but because he wanted trust. And for a while they did trust, until one day, a voice came slithering through the leaves, the serpent, crafty, subtle. He coiled around Eve's attention like smoke. "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree'?" Eve replied. "We may eat from all, but not that one. If we do, we will die." The serpent grinned with lies. "You will not surely die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened. You will be like him." The fruit sparkled. It was pleasing to the eye, promising wisdom, promising more. Eve reached, she tasted, and nothing happened at first. So she turned to Adam, and he did not speak, he did not ask, he simply took and ate. And in that moment, their eyes were opened, but not to power, not to glory, to shame. They looked at each other and saw their nakedness not as beauty, but as something to cover. They ran, they sewed fig leaves, they hid behind trees, and then came the footsteps. God walked through the garden as he always did. But this time, something was different. "Adam, where are you?" And from the shadows, Adam answered, "I heard you. I was afraid because I was naked." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam pointed. "The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit." Eve lowered her eyes. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." God turned to the serpent. "Because you have done this, you are cursed, and from the woman will come a seed, and one day that seed will crush your head." To Eve, he said, "You will bear children in pain, and your longing will wrestle with your husband's rule." To Adam, "Because you listened instead of leading, the ground is cursed. You will sweat, toil, ache, until you return to dust." But even in judgment, God covered them. He made garments of skin. Blood was spilled for the first time. A shadow of mercy, a glimpse of a future sacrifice, a whisper that redemption was already in motion. And so, Adam and Eve were sent out from Eden, out of paradise, but not out of God's presence. They stepped into a broken world, carrying the weight of their choice, but also the seed of a promise of restoration, a promise of a redeemer, a promise that grace would have the final word. This isn't just a story of the first sin, it's a story of first chances and second ones too. It teaches us that freedom without trust leads to ruin, that shame isolates, but God still comes walking, calling, "Where are you?" That even when we hide, He still covers, that no mistake is too great for God's mercy. We are all sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. We've all tasted the fruit of rebellion. We've all felt the sting of shame, but we are also all invited into restoration. So what about you? Where are you hiding? What fig leaves have you been stitching together to cover your pain? Today, God is still walking in the cool of the day, still calling your name, not to condemn you, but to restore you. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to come back home, to trust again, to walk with Him again. This is your Eden moment, not one of exile, but of invitation. Come out of hiding. Let Him clothe you in grace. Step into the story of redemption, because it's still being written and you are a part of it. Before you go, if this story stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more powerful Bible stories, affirmations, and spiritual encouragement, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of grace. We're Biblical Paradox, and this is just the beginning of the journey.